Tauren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I haven't talked to you in a little while, but I've interviewed you, I guess, when your first CD came out or your first release there at K Love, and talked to you through the years a few times.
Yes,
Love
sir.
your music. Love the new record. I mean, it is so good.
Thank you.
I love the sound of it, but even beyond the sound, I mean, the lyrics are it's not just happy pop music. There's some really good, deep lyrics in it. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Even the song "Come Home," which the lyrics are really, I mean, just so thoughtful. Even though it's like a dance track, you know.
Yeah. Right.
So I I really like it, and that's the kind of I may have told you this years ago, but this is the kind of music I grew up on. This was my favorite growing up. When everybody else was headbanging and doing all that other kind of stuff, I was totally into pop. So
Yeah.
I'm a pop guy.
Let's go. Me too. I love it.
Yeah,
Makes me happy.
my first tape was Thriller. So
Let's
there you go.
go. Supreme Day, baby.
That's right. That's right. I only regret I never got to meet him.
I
I met a
know.
lot of people, but didn't get to meet him.
Yeah, I never even got to see a concert. I actually hold that against my parents. The fact that they never took me to see Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson. I just feel like when you have those
Right.
people in your lifetime, you have to go see them.
Right. Right.
So,
Now in high school, I did go see Madonna, and that's before
okay.
she was still pretty bubblegum back then. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it is now. I
The
wouldn't go now.
transformation. Yeah.
Right. That was like True Blue,
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, good to talk to you, and I love this project. I love seeing everything that you come out with, and what you stand for, and what you're putting out in the culture. Um, I just wanted to ask you about the new project and talk about it a little while. Uh, I realize you're probably a creative individual, and you're always got something percolating. So, at what point did you decide, hey, I'm going to put these songs together and we're going to release this project? Was it a thing of I got to put this together for a deadline, or these songs flow together and this could be the project?
Well, when I finished Citizen of Heaven and we put it out in January of 2020, I didn't realize what 2020 would become. But I had already started writing for the next album pretty quickly after we finished Citizen of Heaven and turned in the masters. I just wanted to keep writing. So we kept flowing, man, and I went through like series of different songs that worked together. And in the midst of all of the craziness of the last 2 years, I signed a new record deal, which put me in touch with some new creative contacts and touch points. So went to LA, spent 10 days out there, got to take my whole family and wrote every day, a couple songs a day, and just really was loving the creative space of evaluating and excavating what was happening in my heart and how I was feeling about things that were happening in the world. So that's where these songs really came from. And then when it came time to choose, how I choose all my albums isn't necessarily even what goes together the best. I pick the best songs. So sometimes there may be a rub of like, well, this song's kind of like that one, but it comes down to, well, which one is better? And so that's kind of the process that I went through to get to this particular collection of songs.
Yeah. Well, what I noticed about it, and I've been listening to it on my morning runs for like the past week, and I noticed there are a variety of access points for people in it. There are worshipful songs, there are evangelistic songs, and just general joyful Christian living songs, and there are songs about friendship. which also fit in there too. Was that on purpose? Did you want to give just different listeners? The album probably could mean different things to different people.
Yes, that's the hope. And that's really the hope of art at all. It's that it would be consumed and evaluated on a very personal, unique, individual level. So that's why, I mean, I love giving context around my songs. It's one of the things that brings me to life is being able to take something that's 3 minutes long, but to show people that there's so much depth beneath the lyric if you really dig in. But I also love the fact that there will be millions of people who never read a devotion or never hear a podcast. All they have is the 3 minutes. And that
Right,
those 3 minutes are going to mean something personal and specific to them. I wanted to cover a lot of ground. When I went into the first part of this album process, a mentor of mine who actually wrote the title track with Stephen Furtick, he's a friend, he said, you should feel the permission to bring your whole self into this next season of your life. And I really felt that. And it became kind of the foundation for what we would build over the next 18 months. And so I wanted to bring my whole self into the album. I wanted to bring the friend that I aspire to be into the album,
right,
the places that I need to grow in my relationship with my wife, how I feel about what God has blessed me with in my family and in my ministry, career, my life. I wanted to write about all those things. Obviously, I can't write anything outside of something that has a perspective of faith.
right,
It's going to inform everything that I do. But I also wanted to, instead of writing just a response to my emotions, I wanted to write about my emotions. I think in the faith space, we're so good at, you know, having a problem in the first 15 seconds of a song and solving it by the third minute of the song. And with a song like Empty, there is no resolution. There's
right,
just space for people to evaluate, have I felt empty? Have I felt unfulfilled? Have I struggled with these types of feelings? And if so, why do I feel this? And I feel like God can speak into those moments in a way that a lyric or a melody falls short. So I wanted to bring all of that into the album, and I'm grateful to have collaborators and a team around me that helped me accomplish that.
well, I definitely think it works. I mean, I can't wait for everybody to hear it. That's one of the coolest things about getting new music is that you hear it before everybody else, and the only con of it is that nobody else is hearing it. And you
Yeah.
can't say, "Have you heard that? That's awesome," you know. So I imagine you're going to go out on tour to support it as well.
Yes, we just launched the Joy in the Morning tour with my special guest Aaron Cole and Lakewood Music, and we're going to be going to, I don't know, 25, 26 cities. This is going to be really fun too because traditionally, if I wasn't on an arena tour, I would be playing my shows in churches. And if you know me, you know I love the church. I love the local church. But I thought it would be dope to go into rooms where you see everybody else that you love to see that makes music. So we're playing some really cool places. We're playing like the Ryman in Nashville or the Orpheum in LA. You know, we're playing a couple arenas on this tour. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, Anyone who's been to a Tauren Wells show knows I place a high premium on entertainment. I want you to get your money's worth. If you had to get the kids with a babysitter to get there, we gonna make it worth it. Having four kids of my own, I know what it takes to get the whole family piled up and moving in the same direction to an event. If you get all of your people in the room, you are going to absolutely love it. But the thing with my shows is not only do I want to entertain you, I want you to have a true experience and encounter with the greatest power in heaven and earth. and that is Jesus. And so we create space in our experiences for people to really encounter God. And it's always so cool to see those moments come together because, like the album, there's so much breadth to it, there's so much depth to it. From one track to another, you're going to get something different. And it's the same with the live show. No 3 minutes is ever the same. It's always exciting.
Right. Well, Tarn, you always seem to have a really good, positive, bright outlook and a lot of energy and enthusiasm. And some people, I think, when they get into the business side of the music industry, they kind of lose that a little bit.
Hmm.
So how do you maintain it? How do you keep your perspective even when uh, maybe you're doing things in the industry you don't want to do necessarily? You're going through the tedious work or whatever.
Yeah. That's a great question. I don't think I've been asked that question like that. I think, recently I heard someone say you lose your way when you lose your why. And I think
Yeah.
it's important that I stay locked in on why I'm doing this. And that is to call greatness out of other people. And so when that is the driving force behind everything, it's very easy to be passionate and excited about it. Even the tedious mundane things can be places of joy. There are things that I do not like doing, but I love the results of doing them.
Right.
I don't like working out, but I like the results of working out.
Right.
I don't necessarily like sitting down and writing out devotions and articles and those types of things. But I like the fact that I can do it, give it to someone who has influence with people, and then on my Instagram, I'm getting tagged in a quote that someone says, I really needed this.
Right.
Well, that made me sitting in my room alone digging that out worth it. So I think staying focused on not just what you're having to do, but why you're doing it helps you stay passionate and enthusiastic. I think the other thing is knowing what you're not called to do. So much of our energy gets wrapped up in things that maybe we're not supposed to be doing right now. And that's why I read a book years ago by Wayne Cordero that talked about spirit led seasons. And it's so important to let the Spirit lead you into the different seasons and the different assignments, the objectives of your life. Because if you're trying to do it from a place of selfish ambition, you're always going to be doing more than is probably healthy for you to do. But if you do it from a place of real purpose and intention, where the Spirit's leading you, then you're going to lock into the spaces that you have a grace for. And when you lock into those spaces, it may feel like work, but what is being deposited back into your soul from it makes that investment worth it.
Right. And thank you, Torin. Great. Always great to talk to you. Always rooting for you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much. Thank you for the time. Have a great day.